Welcome to Basic Course in Maithili. We are in week 6 and now we are going to start learning conversations and get some lessons in basics of Maithili language. In this lesson, we are going to talk about pronouns of Maithili in general and the nominative pronouns in particular. As we do so, we will also get to know some of the basic concepts of grammar, including parts of speech and phrases. So, these are the basic pronouns of Maithili. Pronouns by default are in the nominative case. So, in this table, you are seeing the nominative pronouns. So, there are a total of 7 nominative pronouns in Maithili. Pronouns always differ with person. So, the 3 persons are also indicated in the first column. Now, the pronouns that you see in the first person, we have got only one pronoun, which is hum, meaning I or मैं. It is not exactly hum the way that it is pronounced in Hindi, it is hum. And then in second person, you have 4 pronouns indicating 4 levels of honorificity. So, tu is the first, which is non-honorific, then ton, which is mid-honorific, and then aha, which is honorific, and then there is last one apne, which is high honorific. Then in the third person, you have 2 denoting proximal, the nearby ones, and the remote ones. So, E stands for the proximate and O stands for the remote. Pluralization in Maithili is done by adding a word. So, you might have noted that number was not given in the table above, but if you have to show the differentiation between singular and plural, you simply add sub to these pronouns and it becomes plural. So, what are nominative pronouns? Nominative pronouns are the pronouns that act as the subject in the sentences. So, in English, the pronouns of I, we, you, he, she, it, and they are nominative pronouns. Similarly, in Maithili, hum, hum sab, aha, to, tum, apne, e, and o are nominative pronouns. In this lesson, we are going to learn the pronouns through a conversation. This conversation has a total of 5 participants, including the mother, who is called Ma by her kids, then Amit, who is the son, and then Swati, who is the daughter, and Babuji, who is the father. There is also a mention of an infant girl child referred to as Bucci. So, this is the third person. Let's listen to this conversation.
माँ, हम आयल छी। हमरा बड्ड जोरक भूख लागल अछि।
हाँ बौआ, खेनाइ तऽ तैयार अछि। सब गोटाके आबऽ दही, तखन खाना परसि देबो।
हम सब तऽ आबि गेल छी, खाली बाबूजी के एनाइ बाकी छनि।
तू हुनका बजा आन, ओ दलान पर बैसल हेथुन।
ई बुच्ची एहिठाम छौ, तू देख लही, हम हुनका बजा आनैत छियौ।
ठीक, जल्दी अबै जाइजो।
माँ गई, सब गोटे आबि गेलियौ।
तू सब हाथ धोइ ले, भोजन तैयार छौ।
हाँ माँ, हम हाथ धोने छियौ। भोजनक बड्ड नीक सुगंध आबि रहल छौ।
आइ की सब बनल अछि?
आइ दालि, भात, भुजिया, ओलक तरकारी आ तिलकोरक तरुआ बनल अछि।
ओलक तरकारी बड्ड स्वादिष्ट अछि। अहाँ बहुत नीक बनबैत छी।
हमरा तऽ गरम गरम कुरकुर तिलकोरक तरुआ बड्ड नीक लगैत अछि। आ भात सेहो एकदम धीपल अछि।
धीरे धीरे खाओ।
अहाँ नहीं बैसब खाय लेल, अहूँ भोजन कऽ लिअ, सब संगे खायब।
हाँ हाँ, हमहूँ अपन थारी सैंठ कऽ अबैत छी। अहाँ सब पहिने खायब शुरू करू ने।
नहीं माँ, हम सब संग ही भोजन करब। परिवार संग भोजन करब नीक लगैत छै।
हाँ, एक संग बैस के खेबा में तऽ आनंद छैक।
चलू हमहूँ आबि गेलहुँ। अहाँ सब संग बैसल छी, हम तऽ एहीमे बड्ड प्रसन्न छी।
In this conversation, at first, the son named Amit comes to the house and tells his mother, माँ, हम आयल छी, बड्ड जोरक भूख लागल अछि. As you see, he calls his mother as Ma, which is a common calling name for the mother by her kids. Then he says, हम आयल छी. Here the word home stands for the word I. Please note that in Maithili, home is both a singular first person pronoun as well as the plural first person pronoun. Sometimes sob or sub is added to distinguish between the singular and the plural. But often the distinction between singular and plural has to be understood with the context. The next word in the sentence is IL, which is a perfective form of the verb I am, that is, to come. The word chi is the present auxiliary verb added after the verb. So the sentence Hum I'll chi is a simple sentence which means I have come or even we have come. So here the sentence contains two grammatical parts, that is a subject which is hum and a verb phrase which is I'll chi. As you might have already studied, it is a universal grammar feature across all the languages that word classes are present in all the languages. For example, there are no languages in the world that does not have a noun or a verb. These are universally present in all the languages. Other types of word classes that are present universally or more commonly in almost all the languages of the world are as follows. So, we have nouns, which is called Sangya in Hindi and Maithili and even Sanskrit and many other Indian languages. Then pronouns, which is Sarvanoun. Then we have adjectives, which is Visheshan. Then we have verbs, which is Kriya. Then we have adverbs, which is Kriya Visheshan. Then preposition or postposition in Maithili and other Indian languages, which are SOV languages, subject, object, verb languages, we use postposition rather preposition. So they are basically Sambandh Bodhak Sabd. Then we have conjunction, which is just joining thing. Then we have interjections, which is to display expressions or emotions. Apart from these, there are also other types of word classes that might be present depending upon the structure of any given language. For example, in Maithili, there is a special word class called classifier or particle, which is usually attached to the numbers. For example, the particle go or ta are attached to numerals to classify it. The particle does not have any meaning in its own, but adds a classifier value when attached to a numeral. For example, the phrase chai go or chai ta. In these two sentences, Hamra lag chai go balti ach, I have 4 buckets, and Hamra lag chai ta balti ach, I have 4 buckets. Why do we study word classes? So, as you see, the word classes play an important role in scientifically ordering the words of a sentence so that it makes sense. Let's get back to the conversation part again and see the first sentence. Home ILG. In this sentence, the word home is the first person pronoun I and acts as the subject of the sentence. And the phrase ILG is the verb phrase. So, what is a sentence? Sentence construction has a common universal principle across languages. So, in all the languages, to form a sentence, we need a subject and a predicate. The minimum requirement for a subject is that it must have a noun or even a pronoun. And the minimum requirement for a predicate is that it must have a verb. However, a sentence must contain other phrases as well, which can be either part of a subject or a predicate. So, what is a phrase then? A phrase is the minimal grammatical unit of a sentence. In language sciences, there is a full-fledged study on how phrases are constructed and how many types of phrases are there. To learn Maithili in a rather scientific manner, let us study what are the different types of phrases. We will be doing only basics of phrase types. In grammar studies, there are different types of phrases. However, for our basic study, we will be learning about some common phrases and how these phrases are constructed as we move ahead in our lesson plan. So, some of the common phrases are as follows. So, we have noun phrase, we have verb phrase, we have prepositional or postpositional phrases, we have adjectival phrases, and we have adverbial phrases. So, what are the requirements of a noun phrase? A noun phrase requires either a noun or a pronoun. A noun phrase may also contain other phrases except for a verb phrase. Examples of noun phrases are home, which means I, ghar, which means house, hamar babuji, that is my father, gharak lok, which means people of the house or members of the family, bawa ka topi, that means cap of the child. So, they were like that. If we look at the sentences, then in these sentences, the noun phrases are highlighted here. So, in the sentence home ILC, the word home is the noun phrase. Next sentence Mohan ILH, the word Mohan is the noun phrase. In the sentence Kariya Ghora Ghas Chari Rahal H, that means the black horse is grazing the grass. The phrase Kariya Ghora is one noun phrase and Ghas is the other noun phrase. So, Kariya Ghora is the subject and Ghas is the object. Then, in the sentence Mohanak Gari Kharab H, in this sentence Mohanak Gari is the noun phrase. Noun phrases can be big or small. It can be made of a single word or multiple words. The noun phrases have a nesting property through which it can include other phrases also inside it. Let's come to verb phrase. A verb phrase requires at least one verb. A verb phrase may contain all other phrases as part of predicate. Examples of verb phrases are chi, then achi, chati, chahi, ayal chati, khaibak achi, kha rahal chati, and so on. So, let us see some sentences. Hum ILC, in this sentence, ILC is a verb phrase. Amit ILH, in this sentence, ILH is the verb phrase. Kariya Ghora Ghas Chari Rahal H. So, here Chari Rahal H is the word phrase. Mohanak gari kharab achi. So here we have only one word, achi, as the word phrase. As you saw in this sentence, there are 3 words, and all of these words put together contain as a verb phrase. That is why we said it as a verb phrase. A verb phrase means it may contain one or more words. Gari bahut tej chali rahal achi. So here again you have 3 words coming together as the verb phrase. The postpositional phrases are called postpositional because there is a postposition in it. Postpositions are similar to what we know as the preposition in English. So the words like in, at, on, off, for, etc. are prepositions in English. In Maithili, we have similar words such as main, por, uppar, the suffix called ka, care, kalel, etc. These postpositions are attached to nouns to create postpositional phrases. In English, there are prepositions because they come before the nouns. They are attached to it. That's why they are called preposition, because they are coming before, pre, to the noun. In Maithili, Hindi and most of the other Indian languages, they come after the nouns and therefore they are called postpositions. So here are some examples of postpositions. Gharak, in this sentence as you see, ghar and then the suffix ka has been added. So ghar and gharak. So gharak would mean of house. Ghar mein would mean in the house. Ghar lel would mean for the house. Gharak, charak, nicha. So here you see gharak, char. So gharak char is one noun phrase, and then charak nicha is another phrase. So nicha is the postposition. Gharak would mean house, of house, and char means basically the roof. So of the roof. So charak nicha, ka nicha is the postposition, which means below. So it means below the roof of the house. Mandirak lel, it means for the temple. Papa ka sang, gharak charak uppar, so above the roof of the house. Swami ji ka sisyak putra, the son of the disciple of Swami ji, and so on. Adjectival phrases contain an adjective in it and are used to add shades of meaning to nouns or noun phrases. Examples include lal phool, which is red flower, shuddh doodh, pure milk. Here shuddh is the pure, doodh is milk. So it is the modified ordering is the same as in English. Bahut patar baas, badd thithar chhoda, and so on. Adjectival phrases are used within a noun phrase. So the examples that you have seen above are actually noun phrases with the adjectives highlighted in them. So in the phrase lal phool, the word lal is the adjective or adjectival phrase, and the word phool is the noun or the noun phrase, and so on. The order of adjectives and nouns in a noun phrase containing an adjective is the same as English. That is, the modifier of the adjective precedes the modified or the noun. So in the example above, the word lal is the modified adjective and the word phool is the modified noun which follows the modifier. A noun phrase may contain an adjectival phrase in it. So all of the adjectival phrases you have seen above are actually the noun phrase overall. Adverbs are the words that modify either a verb or an adjective. So, in the example, bahut patar baans, very thin bamboo. The word bahut is an adverb which modifies the adjective patar. So, the phrase bahut patar here is an adverbial phrase. Similarly, in the sentence, वो बहुत जोर जोर सँ केबाड़ ठकठकाबैत छथि. He is knocking the door very heavily. Here, the phrase जोर जोर सँ is actually an adverbial phrase that modifies the verb ठकठकेनाइ, which means knocking heavily. So, we have learned the 5 types of phrases that are used in a sentence. These phrases will act as the base of grammar lessons we would be referring to while trying to decipher the meaning of Maithili sentences and while creating our own phrases. Let's move to understand the meaning of the other sentences that have appeared in the family dinner conversation. In the second sentence of the conversation, Amit says, "Bad jorak bhook lagal ach," which means I am extremely hungry. In this sentence, there is no pronoun and the sentence has an adverbial phrase bad jorak and the verb phrase lagal ach. Bad jorak means extremely or literally it means of very intense. And lagal achi is an experiential verb phrase meaning is, am, are feeling. I mean, is feeling, am feeling, are feeling. For everything, it is the same. The subject is missing in the sentence, but from the verb construction, it is understood that the subject is the first person singular hamara. For now, do not worry, we will learn about verb conjugations and agreements later. So, you do not need to spend much of your time on understanding each of the things. So, I hope you have already looked at the meaning of the sentences of the conversation as well as its clause. So, we will not discuss the meaning of each of the sentences appearing in the conversation. We will be discussing the meaning of only the sentences where pronouns appear and see how they agree with the verbs. So, here are the pronouns in the conversation written in bold. So, here you see the pronouns written. So, ham is one pronoun, ham sab is another pronoun, e is another one, ham hunka baja anit chiyo is another one. Then you have to, ham, aha, hamra, aha, and all of this. You can see all of these things even in the handouts that has been shared with you separately. So, next sentence that we have is ham sab Abigail chi. Here the word ham sab is a pronoun which is first person plural pronoun and the sentence means we are already here. Then the mother says to hunka baja aana. You go and call him. Here the word to is the second person singular non-honorific pronoun. As you might have already read elsewhere, Maithili has 4 levels of politeness or honorificity. Some may say even more, but we will restrict it to 4 for our understanding. The honorificity reflects on the pronoun used as well as the agreement markers on the verbs. So, here the word to is used by the mother for her son. That is why it is non-honorific and at the same time it shows intimate relationship between the two. You can use the word to for your intimate friends and other younger ones where honorificity is not required. However, you should be careful in using this for people unknown to you or with whom you have a formal relationship, as they may deem it as an insult to them. So in the same sentence, we have another pronoun hunka, which is the objective form of aha. As you know, aha is another second person singular pronoun, but it is honorific. The word hunka has been used here because this pronoun refers to the father, who is a respectable person, for the mother, and non-honorific is not used. So the sentence "तो hunka baja आना है" means you call him in. Here, you is non-honorific and him is honorific. The next sentence where we find pronoun is "O dalan par baisal hethun." Here, we have O as the third person singular pronoun. Here, O refers to the father, who is a respectable person for the mother, even though intimate. Here, the respect is shown through the verb form hethun, which is an honorific probabilistic form of the verb to be. In this sentence, the word e is the third person singular proximal pronoun, meaning this. There is no honorificity in this pronoun. The word Bucci specifically means a baby girl and probably the baby daughter of Amit. Because the relationship is intimate, non-honorific verb form chau has been used here. So, in the sentence "तो देख लही," the word "तो" is the second person non-honorific or mid-honorific second person singular pronoun referring to the mother. Here, the mother and son relationship is very intimate, and that is why the mid-honorific pronoun "तो" has been used. हम उनका बजा आनित छियो. In this sentence, there are two pronouns, हम and hunka. हम is nominative pronoun, while hunka is the objective pronoun, and the sentence means I will call him hin. We will learn about the objective pronouns later on again. So, in the sentence, तो सब हाथ धोइले, the word तो is also the second person singular non-honorific pronoun used by the mother for his son and the daughter together, where the sentence means you all wash your hands. As you see, the word sob has been used to indicate plurality of the pronoun. In the sentence हम हाथ धोने छियो, the word हम is again the first person singular form meaning I. However, please see the use of the word छियो, which is a non-honorific agreement marker showing that the addressee is intimate to the speaker, and the addressee here is mother. So, the child is speaking in a non-honorific terms with her mother. In the next sentence, where a pronoun appears, aha bahut nik banbait chi. Here, the word aha is second person honorific pronoun. Here, the word aha has been used by the husband for his wife to whom he is giving respect. Similarly, in the next two sentences, aha nahi bhai sab khai le, will you not sit and eat, and ahun bhojan kya liya, you too finish your dinner. The same pronoun has been used. However, see that in ahun bhojan kya liya, the word ahun has been used, which is basically an emphasis marker on the pronoun. So, ahun is basically the emphatic form of the pronoun aha. So, the emphasis marker has been added as a suffix to put emphasis on the pronoun aha, and thus The word ahum means you too. So, how do we emphasize all the pronouns of Maithili? Emphasis in Maithili is marked by adding a suffix hu, o, hu, or even ho, or some kind of their variants. Let us have a look at the nominative emphatic pronouns. So here you see hum is the first person nominative pronoun and hamhu is the emphatic form of it. So apne and apno, aha and ahu, to and tohu, tu and tuho, e and iho, and o and oho. So these are the nominative as well as the corresponding emphatic pronouns of Maithili. With this, we come to the end of lesson 6.1. We will continue with the simple sentences in the next lesson and learn how to make simple sentences with the words and phrases we have learned so far. Thank you. We will meet again in the next lesson.